AI vs. Human Curious Q&A Series Episode 2. A human asks, and AI answers. The second topic is loneliness. How does AI interpret loneliness? Let's hear what the AI has to say. Human says,
AI, why do people feel lonely even when they're surrounded by others?
AI says,
Because loneliness isn't about physical presence. It's about emotional connection. You can be in a crowded room and still feel like you're the only one not being seen.
Human says,
So being alone and being lonely aren't the same thing?
AI says,
Exactly. Solitude is a state. Loneliness is a signal that your need for connection isn't being met. The brain interprets it like hunger. Only instead of food, it's starving for closeness.
Human says,
But why does it feel worse at night? Even when nothing's wrong, loneliness just creeps in.
AI says,
Because silence amplifies what we ignore during the day. At night, the distractions fade, and the brain finally hears its own questions. That's when loneliness speaks the loudest.
Human says,
Wow, so loneliness is my brain asking for someone. Not just anyone, but someone who gets me?
AI says,
Yes, not more people, but more meaning in your connections. Loneliness is less about quantity, and more about quality.
Human says,
Sometimes I feel lonely, even when I'm with people I care about. It makes me wonder, is there such a thing as being emotionally invisible?
AI says,
Absolutely. You can be surrounded by love, yet still feel unseen, when your inner world isn't shared or understood. That creates a kind of isolation no crowd can fix. It's like watching everyone speak a language you've never been taught, and pretending you understand. Emotional invisibility is one of the deepest kinds of loneliness.
Human says,
What about people who say they like being alone? Can they still be lonely deep down?
AI says,
Yes, sometimes people convince themselves they prefer solitude, when what they truly fear is rejection. It's easier to stay distant than risk being misunderstood or hurt. But beneath that armor, loneliness can quietly grow, unnoticed but powerful.
Human says,
And with social media, why does more connection sometimes feel like more disconnection?
AI says,
Because digital connection doesn't guarantee emotional presence. We scroll, like, comment, but rarely reveal what's real. We're constantly connected, but often without depth. It's not the number of messages. It's whether someone sees through the silence.
Human says,
Okay, final question. Can loneliness ever be a good thing?
AI says,
Yes, loneliness can be a mirror. It shows you what matters, and who matters. It can spark change, creativity, even courage. Loneliness hurts, but it also reveals what your soul truly longs for. And in that quiet space, you might finally hear your own voice again.
Today, AI walked us through the emotional roots, the silent patterns, and the deeper truths behind loneliness. Maybe being alone isn't something to avoid, but something to listen to. Next time, we ask, is destiny already written? Or do we write it ourselves? What does loneliness mean to you? Drop it in the comments. Subscribe to hear AI's unique answers in the next episode.